on, guys? I'm here to update you on all of the things that are happening within Run Pure Sports this week. NFL regular season is over, but not without bringing in another 100K winner. Big congrats to Get Freaky, who took down 106K on the crazy Sunday night Showdown slate, and yet another shout out to Big T with another 74K hit in NBA. Make sure you guys keep an eye out for all of our upcoming NFL playoff content. We'll have our usual playbook, core plays, and showdown content, in addition to a playoff print factory and 2 wood shows that will cover Saturday and Sunday slates. We are also running it back with a new Underdog promo in time to enter their great playoff best ball contest. Just use the promo code RUNPURE and you will get up to a $100 deposit match on your first deposit. No better time to sign up. We will also have another Underdog playoff show this week to review drafting strategy. That is all we got for this week. It has been a great NFL season and things are just heating up as we head into the playoffs. Thank you for checking us out, and of course, keep running pure with us.
Let's get it. Print Factory playoff edition here. We're bringing it to you live. We're going to go through everything NFL playoffs. We're going to hit some rights, some wrongs. Don't worry, I got some tidbits for all of us, including myself, who's, had some wrongs every now and then. So we all fuck up, and we'll talk about it here. But got to bring my boys in. Before I do, I already see that like button's been hit a little bit. I love it. Let's keep hitting that thumbs up, that like button. Let's hit that subscribe box, that red box at the bottom right-hand corner. Show the love. This show's been free all year, and we love that you guys have been, continually showing us that love. But let's keep it rolling all the way through the playoffs. I got to bring in my 2 co-hosts, Mr. Big T, Mr. Uncle Dunkle. I got to go to the man in the one hole, though. Uncle Dunkle on the bet side, who's been on fire, may I add. Dunkle, talk about how many W's you've been giving me the last week or so.
Yeah, been a good week in the NFL. Nice end to the college football season as well. But the past is just that. We will.
How many units are we up this week?
We will look onward to the future.
How many units are we up?
This week in particular, I think it's a break-even week, believe it or not, right now. But if you include NFL last weekend, yeah, it's about a 5 or 6 U plus. But
I've seen 8 and 2. 8 and 2 is not even.
Include everything, please. Can we just
8 and 2 is not JSU? If you go 8 and 2 bets, is that even?
No, that sounds like you're winning a lot.
That's a tough landscape if you're 8 and 2 and you're even.
I'll tell you this. I got introduced to, on a Sunday morning show on the Run Pure Sports YouTube channel, I got introduced to an individual named the Tone Dog, and I must say, I must say that. I liked what I was seeing from him. I thought he was providing good content. Clearly has won quite a few sticks over the last few months. Consider me a fan of the Tone Dog.
Listen, no, stop. So I'm going to bring in the guy in the 2-hole, but let me just say real quick. The Tone Dog is the worst fucking nickname of all of the fucking nicknames I've ever heard in my life. The Tone Dog is not worse. Like, absolutely awful. I mean, Boss Man T, Big Dog D House. I mean, just like, come on, so many better names than the Tone Dog. That's just weak sauce. I mean, Tony Niehaus, a.k.a. Big T, which is a way better nickname anyways. But come on, we can't do Tone Dog. That's gotta go.
It was just Holden's corny ass coming up with just a stupid nickname, a dad joke, and then Hoop, the king of the dad jokes, just thought it was great too and went with it. I mean, just a terrible nickname. I agree. Just no, Tone Dog puts it down on the reverse workbench, West Coast Jim. I mean, that is just a terrible nickname.
I mean, what's worse, Tone Dog or JJ's nickname from Holden, J Jizzle, which I thought was almost as egregious as Tone Dog. I mean, Holden, you should be suspended without pay for these nicknames. Yeah, I mean, Tony, come on, boss. We gotta start suspending our guys for shit like this. This is.
Holden's got to do better. There's no doubt about it. Just Absolutely awful nickname. He said he watches this show too. You're not watching, Holden. I know you're not watching, so that's terrible.
Yeah, say something right now.
Yeah.
I dare you, Holden. Say
He'll
something.
pop in like
chat.
halfway through and like put one sentence to make us think he's watching, and then he's just gone.
It's absolute bullshit. If he was watching right now, you know he'd be friggin' talking to us in that chat right now. He'd be trying to stick up for himself. I knew you weren't watching, Holden, you liar. Suck it. All right. Let's talk some football, boys. I mean, wild. I mean, we got to talk about last week, too, because it was just wild how, everyone was talking about, I feel like all shows were like just kind of joking around like, hey, what if Jacksonville were to beat the Colts? And then what if there was a tie situation with the Raiders and the Chargers? I mean, last week's week 18 was insane. And I don't know if we thought we were going to get a slate like that where there ended up being so many like important games. I mean, that Raiders game was, I don't know about you guys, but I thought it was one of the funnest games of the year to watch. Like I didn't expect that game to have that much excitement, and it was wild. Like it was an absolutely wild game. It was, in my opinion, it was a great game to watch. But what were your overall thoughts on the weekend? How everything just fell? Tony, I'll go to you first.
Yeah, I mean that game was insane for sure. All the dynamic, we'll never see that again. So that was to end the regular season where if the team ties, both teams get in. That'll literally never happen again. So I don't even think the coaches really knew what to do. Everyone was talking about the timeout at the end of the game. I just think it was more to do with literally the coaches didn't know how to handle it. Do we try to call timeouts and get the ball back? Do we try to score? Do we kick a field goal? I really don't think they knew. And when the Chargers called that timeout, they kind of made their decision for them where let's try to pick up some yards and kick a field goal. We can't punt. I don't know. Who knows? But it was exciting. I'll tell you that much. Really fun game to watch. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the playoffs, though. It was good for my Bengals, everything that happened. The Colts get knocked out, the Chargers get knocked out, and Pittsburgh and I guess New England ended up. I mean, New England would have been in anyways, but you got a couple bad teams. Oh, the Raiders, obviously. Raiders and Steelers and Colts and Chargers out is very good for the AFC if your team is in, because you get a couple bad teams in. Looking forward to it, though. We're going to have some fun games throughout the playoffs, especially as we get deeper into things here.
Yeah. I mean, Dunkel, swinging it over to you, I got to ask you just real quick on that last game, the Raiders game. If they don't call a timeout, do they end up kicking a field goal? Yes or no? Just before you go into the rest.
I personally believe they would have. I think that the timeout, I think to Derek Carr's point, the timeout did change their play calling, but I think regardless, they were going to try to win the football game. I think that, yes, the timeout did make things. Do you think
they would have kicked like a 50-something yard field goal if they didn't even get that big run? They still would have kicked like a whatever it was. I forget exactly the number.
As ODB says, I mean, the ex-Viking, Daniel Carlson is like very quietly one of the best kickers in football. And yeah, I mean, fuck, why not? The dude's missed 5 kicks in the last 2 years out of like 80. I mean, so yeah, I mean, they were kicking a field goal regardless. I do think, yeah, it assisted in their play calling or help or influenced play calling, but it wouldn't have mattered. They would have went for the win regardless. Also, for nothing else, I mean, the win gets them the Bengals versus the Chiefs. We'll talk on that game anyway. But yeah, for me, maybe a hot take, maybe not. I think one of the worst losses in NFL history was the Colts loss. When you put everything into consideration, Jacksonville loss assures them the number 1 overall pick. The Colts just need to win. You can't even explain it. Wentz was really bad. But I just think pound for pound. And it goes to show you, like, I know that, and look, I think Jonathan Taylor's improved tremendously as a running back, and he's arguably, one of, if not the best in the league. Obviously, Henry's out, but it goes to show you, this is a quarterback-driven league. A running back will not win you football games by himself. It was pretty clear what Jacksonville's strategy was. Let's let Carson Wentz beat us. Let's load up the box. And Taylor was kind of stifled between the tackles. And Wentz couldn't win it himself. And it's a quarterback league. That's why I'm never a fan of when people are like, yeah, this guy should win MVP. He was not a quarterback. A quarterback every year should win MVP in the NFL. It's just the way it's just the way the league runs right now. But yeah, tough loss, all things considered. I consider myself kind of like a closeted Colts fan. So I would have liked to see them in it, but is what it is.
It's always my pet peeve too when people. So after the game, everyone's like, I was Wentz and they need to run the ball more and blah, blah, blah. But sometimes you can't run it when they keep stuffing you. If they stuff you on first, they stuff you on second, and you're at 3rd and 7 all day. Like, that's tough for anybody. It just makes it a brutal spot when you're a running team. Dunkel said it best. I mean, all these teams, San Francisco, Indy, Cleveland, these running teams, if they don't get that lead and they get behind and they can't run it for a minute, it can snowball on you in a hurry because Jacksonville scores, you go 3 and out running it, they score again. Can you really come back and run it again that 3rd series? Because if you get stuffed again, it just snowballs on you. I hate running teams. It's frustrating. I was a Colts fan for sure too. Just embarrassing what they did last week.
Okay, chat, everybody. I would like us to all bow our heads in a moment of silence for the Colts. Just quick for Tony as well. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Did you work on that skit today? Were you?
maybe
now. Sorry, JJ.
That was the quickest moment of silence I've ever been a part of. It was.
They deserved a quick one.
Well, yeah. they don't deserve like a long moment of silence. They deserve a quick one.
What about this Texans coach? Your hero? Can we give him a longer moment of silence?
Yeah. I mean, hey, how about him? Brian Flores, which I thought was egregious. There were some interesting coaches that were let go today, but listen, I mean, maybe they want to go out and hire a Brian Flores or whatever. Who knows? I mean, maybe that had something to do with it. Someone out there. Either way, they won 4 games. I thought 4 games was about as much as you could ask for out of that team. Right? Like, we can make the argument that 4 games is actually pretty good for that spot. Yeah.
You were ready to give him coach of the year for his 4 wins.
Dude, honestly, I was impressed as anyone with the 4 wins. I'm telling you, I can't believe that team won 4 wins. I'm stunned still. But let's go to the next point I want to make. And we talked about the Raiders-Chargers game. My friend BigT always loves to give me shit. And I am just so happy to sit here today and have not just his Colts miss the playoffs, but somehow, miraculously, as the Raiders go through Darren Waller being out for half the year, losing their coach midway, losing their second, probably best playmaker in Henry Ruggs at some point, and they still make the playoffs? Tony, this is a playoff team. The Raiders made the playoffs. You made fun of me week 1 for saying that the Raiders were a decent team. You always said they were awful. How did they make the playoffs over the Colts?
I need to interject. I need to interject. How many favorite teams does JSU have?
Oh, I got all the mediocre teams, JJ. You see how this works? All the mediocre teams are my favorite. So when they sneak in, I get to jab them. I get the quick jab. We haven't made it to the Browns yet. I'll get there. Don't worry. I got stuff for everybody, including myself. But the Colts and Raiders go in because I'm stunned that the Raiders made the playoffs, and I'm also so happy that they made it over the Colts. It's like the best day ever for me. It's Christmas. I mean, Tony, it's Christmas for me right now.
I mean, I'm kind of happy that it happened too, just for my Bengals' sake, because I would much rather play the Raiders than the Colts. So I am a little worried about the Raiders, though. I don't love how the Bengals match up with the Raiders as opposed to other people, because the Raiders' main strength is getting pressure on the quarterback. And the Bengals aren't the best blocking team. We do like Burrow when they blitz, but if they can get pressure with 4, I don't know. I'm a little uneasy about this game. I feel good about the matchup. We'll get into the games as we go. I'm a little uneasy, though. I felt really good, but I'm starting to get even last week on the Showdown show, I picked the Raiders over the Chargers because I just felt like the Raiders, I don't know. Something about the Raiders. They got a little mojo going right now.
Yeah, Tony, we'll talk about that game. That game's real interesting. I really thought the matchups for these teams were key, and Bengals were one of those teams. I would have honestly rather them play the Chiefs. Like in a way, like I think they match up well with the Chiefs. I really feel like if they could meet the Chiefs in the playoffs, I'd
Yeah.
probably take the Bengals. As crazy as that might sound to people, I think the Chiefs are the most excited team because they probably won't see the Bengals until the AFC champ. I think that's how it lines up, if I remember correctly. Is they probably don't see them
they
until the
won't.
third game. So I think they're the most happy team on ever. I think this worked out perfectly for the Chiefs. You want to talk about the winner of all this playoff situation? They get a bye in the first round.
The only tough part for them is they're going to have to play Buffalo, who might be the second best team in the second round.
Okay, interesting. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it here.
The Bengals, I'm worried about the Raiders, but they did pound the Raiders in Vegas earlier this year. So maybe I shouldn't be as worried. I'm just a little uneasy because the Bengals blow games like this. They did pound the Raiders that game. So yeah.
So I have a question for you guys before we get into the whole picks. Do you guys want to just go through game by game and then we can talk about who we have winning the whole thing at the end? Like, do you guys want to do it that way?
Yeah.
So we don't give our winners until the very end? Does that sound good for the panel? Uncle?
Just so I'm clear, I'm not allowed to give bets during the show.
No. The Super Bowl winner. Like who we have going to the Super Bowl. Yeah.
She's like, yeah, we'll talk the game. We're not going to give any picks. And then at the end of the game,
JJ, don't give any winners, please. Don't give any winners. All right. Before I do that, I got to talk about Underdog real quick. We got a promo code going right now. Run Pure gets any new sign up to $100 deposit match bonus with their first deposit. So check out Underdog right now. They've got some good best balls for the playoffs. Right now, I think there's a $25 one, maybe a $5 one as well. Some big contests, though. I know one of them's $1 million prize pool. So check that out. You get a nice little $100 match on your first deposit for a bonus there. I mean, they'll match you up to $100. That's pretty good. Use code RUNPURE for any new sign up. Check that out. RUNPURE is the promo code. Also, guys, don't forget to hit the like button. Hit that subscribe box, that red box at the bottom right-hand corner as we get into these winners. All right. Let's get to these games here, boys, and let's talk about, might as well start with the game that Tony was kind of hinting to a little bit, the Bengals and the Raiders. Let's get this one out of the way here. Bengals -5, 48.5 is the total here. Bengals are at home, favored, obviously. I think this line has dropped since it opened. JJ, I'm going to swing it to you first. Didn't it open at like 6.5?
100%. This would be a spot where I would have absolutely pounded the Raiders in every direction had it not been as cold as it's anticipated to be. It's not going to be frigid, but I do have concerns over Derek Carr in cold weather. But with that said, absolutely love the Raiders over their team total. It's 21.5. Look, I've said this for the last few weeks. This Bengals secondary is so overrated. They've had the luxury of having one of the softest schedules in the NFL in terms of quarterback play. I mean, just look at their division, right? You get Baker twice. They had Lamar the game he got hurt. They didn't even have Huntley. They had Josh Johnson in the second matchup. They get, Mr. Yards per pass attempt, Ben Roethlisberger twice. And then they have teams like the Jaguars, the Jets, the Broncos, just various teams that have below average quarterbacks. When they've played good quarterbacks and they've played good teams, they've given up a lot of points. I've separated their season into 2 seasons or 2 halves. 11 games against below average quarterbacks and 6 against good ones. Over 27 points per game against good quarterbacks or even above average quarterbacks, if you will. I've watched this team get shredded by guys like Herbert, Rodgers, Kirk Cousins. And then, they do good against guys like Teddy Bridgewater, Trevor Lawrence and all the quarterbacks from their division. With all that said, though, in this game, look, here's what I like about the Raiders. Okay, you get a team that's won arguably 4 straight playoff games. A team that also has influenced the 4 teams they've beaten to get here are teams that were all playoff bound. So they've actually knocked out 4 playoff teams en route to getting here. Teams playing super confident. They're moving the ball really well. They're leaning on Josh Jacobs. They're also as healthy as they've been all season. And to your point, Tony, before on Joe Burrow, you're right. Joe Burrow had one of his worst games of the season against the Raiders the first time around. The Raiders do not blitz. They always rush 4. The numbers have shown that Joe Burrow performs better against blitzes. It seemed like Vegas went cover 3 most of the game, and Joe Burrow was, kind of lost. And when you look at the stats, yeah, sure, the box score says 33-19 or 33-18, whatever it was, maybe even worse than that, 33-13. But in reality, in terms of yards per play, the Raiders averaged 2 more yards per play than the Bengals. The time of possession was a big issue in that game. I don't expect time of possession to be an issue here. And who knows if Joe Burrow is even 100% healthy? I'm not exactly on that bandwagon, especially with how quickly he pulled himself out of the potential last game of the year. All things considered, I get a healthy Raiders team, a team that's won 4 in a row, a team that's just moving the chains offensively. And look, I like them to go over the small number of 21.5. And I've already mentioned the fact that arguably one of the better kickers in the league, arguably the best kicker in the league, Daniel Carlson. We could either get 2 touchdowns, 3 field goals, 3 touchdowns, and a field goal. Either way, like the spot. I think there's many ways the Raiders can get over 21. So like that spot.
Yeah, I love it. I said it on the first show I was on after the Raiders game. I said, if you can get this at 6.5 or whatever it was, I just thought the value was on the Raiders for sure. I still think there's some value on the Raiders at this line here. Tony, what do you think about this game here? I know you love the Bengals. I know this is a team that you're really into this year, but what do you think about this spot?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little uneasy about the rushing 4 in that part, because if the Raiders get pressure with 4, it'll definitely hurt. But I don't know. The first game, yeah, it was what it was, 32-13, but it was in Vegas. The Raiders were completely healthy at that point. Waller was totally healthy. I could argue the Raiders were in much better shape right then too and got beat 32-13. Yeah, it was 16-13 somewhat late. I think the end of the third or fourth quarter, beginning of the fourth. But on the road, Cincinnati's going to have a decent-sized home field advantage. Going to be cold, like Dunkel said, which I think helps the Bengals too. I don't know. I'm nervous about it because the Bengals always blow games like this. But I think it's Burrow. I mean, they show his numbers when push comes to shove and all the chips are on the table. Mr. Burrow has not let people down very often. In all of his big games, he's come through. So I'm going to be on the Bengals scoring some points. I think the Raiders will score points too, though. I don't think this is an under game. I think there's going to be points in this game. I think it could go a lot like how the Chargers game went Monday night or Sunday night, whatever night that was. And I think the Bengals win, though. I think they win late, high-scoring game. And I think it's a fun game to watch, though. 2 teams younger. I would say both teams are somewhat younger. A lot of exciting guys on the field. I'm excited I'm excited this is the first game of the weekend, too, because start the playoffs with this game right out of the chute Saturday afternoon. I'm going Bengals and over, though.
Yeah, so the Raiders, this game, like you guys said, this was not a blowout game. The score might look like it when you just look at the score, but late in that game, this was a close game, like Tony said, and Joe Mixon was ripping them apart on the ground. I do know that. But Joe Burrow threw for like 149 yards in this game. He really struggled against this defense. And I think it was mainly because of the fact that they could get there with 4 and they didn't blitz. This team is the dead last in blitzing by far in the NFL. Their blitz rate is 12% in the NFL. That is by far the lowest. Philadelphia is the second lowest at 16. This team is going to rush 4. This team is going to force Joe Burrow into not the obvious one-on-one throws. They're going to make it difficult for him. And I think the way the Bengals win is on the ground. Again, I think that's the way they got to try and do it. They can't force Burrow. I think people might force Burrow into DFS lineups because of what he's done the last 2 weeks. Obviously, forget about last week when he didn't play, but the 2 weeks prior to that, where he's just throwing for all these crazy numbers. And he played the Ravens and the Chiefs, 2 teams that have 2 of the highest blitz rates in all of football. So there's a big difference between these teams and what Joe Burrow has success with. And I think this is going to be one of those matchups where Whether you think the Bengals or Raiders win, whoever you think's going to win, I think Joe Burrow, from a statistical standpoint, is going to struggle a little bit more, and this is where they need Joe Mixon to have a bigger game for them to get it done. But I agree with JJ. I think the Raiders have something. You got to remember in that game too, the other key part, they didn't have Darren Waller.
Yeah,
they didn't have the.
He went off. He went off in that game. He was healthy.
Darren Waller?
Yeah, he was healthy. I remember it. He crushed.
Why did I think they did it?
I'm pretty. So I don't know about crush, because I know the Raiders are a team.
No, he crushed. I remember it.
280 yards of offense.
Oh, you're right. They did have him. Oh,
he crushed too, because I
Okay.
remember he crushed.
You're right. He had 116 yards. I'm wrong.
The
right.
game was completely misleading because of time of possession, though.
Yeah.
The Bengals ran like 100 plays and like averaged like 4 yards a play. The Raiders ran
they
as
had
many plays.
They had 40 rushing attempts almost. That's why they were killing them on the ground.
Yeah, and Jacobs couldn't do nothing. Jacobs got stuffed.
That's the other problem with the Raiders.
When you look at that game, the Raiders were in a different stage, right? They had lost two straight going into it. I'd argue they were going through their little bit of yips right around the Gruden time. Again, this is a different Raider team, momentum-wise, confidence-wise, entering this game. Again, I'd argue they won 4 straight playoff games. So to them, it's house money from here. If anything, I'd argue from a pressure standpoint, Bengals have a lot of pressure on it. This is the first time the Bengals have been good in quite some time, and there's high expectations for this Bengals team. You have a young head coach, a young roster. Like I said, I'm not obviously. Look, I think the Bengals, of course, could win the game, and they very, very well may cover. But I think if they're going to, it's likely because that Bengals offense is going to show up big, and it might. I just think, regardless, I think you get a good showing from the Raiders offense.
God, what is going? OKC is pounding Brooklyn right now. I just look up and it's 65-47.
Brooklyn's playing all those dudes too, like Paul Millsap and
Oh, all right. So okay, official winners for this game. Tony, you're going with?
No, I'm going with the more you guys talk, the more I want to take the Bengals. I was worried until you both talked. Now I love
Okay. Okay, so we affirmed Bengals. JJ,
let's write these down too as we go through, so we can.
I'll write them down. I got my notes
keep a sheet
out
so that we can talk trash next week on the show.
No doubt. I'll write them down right now. So
yeah,
Tony's
we'll just pick all the sides. Like we don't have to like. I'll take Bengals
just
and
winners.
over.
Just winners. Yeah, just winners. Bengals
and over.
JJ.
I'm not sure how we're doing this specifically.
We're just picking the just for fun.
So yeah, Raiders plus the current number, which is 5.
Raiders, and you want the plus number. So you think Raiders win the game though? Is my I'm asking. I want a winner for the game.
Win the game? I mean,
yeah, I want a winner.
Yeah, why not? Raiders upside. I can promise you I'm not betting it, but Raiders plus 5 would be a good bet.
But you want the plus 5 too in a bet, but you think the Raiders win the game. I will also be taking the Raiders here.
I want you both on
them. The glory. I'm trying to get it all here. Give me it all, please.
Get on those Raiders action. I will say one thing. So, I mean, you look at whenever they just can't, the Raiders can't stop these good offenses. Okay, they beat the Browns 4 weeks ago. You're talking about playoff teams. The Browns only run the ball. The Broncos only run the ball. The Colts only run the ball. 3 running teams they beat the last 4 weeks. Chargers scored 32 on them and beat them. So I disagree with those points. I'll take the Bengals.
I will say this. It seemed like the Raiders wanted some flavor of a prevent. I mean, granted, you could create a narrative on every bet in every game, but I mean, the Raiders were up like 14 in the fourth quarter.
They dominated them.
Got a little complacent there. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I think should be a good one with us.
Just keep going back though. Like the Cowboys, who can throw, scored 33 on them. The Chiefs pounded them twice. The Bengals scored 32 on them. Every passing team they've played has scored a ton of points on them.
The only thing I'll say is in arguments, I mean, the defenses, when you compare them, the Raiders are far better defensively. It's actually,
and they can get pressure too with 4. That one dude's just a beast. I mean, the dude was murdering the Chargers.
Max Crosby.
He was murdering the Chargers. So
they did like a full shot of his face, like a close up, and I'm like, oh my god, he's like when he was like when he was like lined up, and I'm like, oh, dude, this dude's crazy. Right
was
now.
crushing.
I would not want to see him.
He's gonna crush this week too, for sure. But
yeah, Yep. Well, if he doesn't crush, they don't win. They need that four. That front four needs to get some pressure. They need to do some work. But all right, let's move on. Plenty of bets. I will make sure to write them down. Let us know what you guys think in the chat. Don't be afraid. Come on, give us your winner. Who you think's winning? You like the Bengals, like Big T? Or are you on Mr. Big Boss Man T? Or are you on the
I'm gonna post my
double J side, the JSU JJ side? Who you got?
when I went over to place that big Burrow comeback player of the year bet earlier in the weekend. I placed a 10-team parlay. I never do these, but just for fun while I was over there with every side of the games, not every side because there's 6 games, but 10 sides of the 12 sides. And it was like to win. I wanted it to be to win $1 million. So it's like 500 to win $1 million, a 10-teamer just for fun. And I'll post it before the game start, just for pure fun.
Love it.
I love that.
I never do that either, but it kind of just, I don't know. I felt decent about the sides. I'm sure I'll lose, but just for fun. I mean, who knows? Just in the playoffs.
I like it. You're gonna have to let us know who we're rooting on here. I'm interested. I love that stuff. All right, let's stick with the AFC. Let's keep the AFC going here. New England versus Buffalo here. Big matchup. These two teams definitely don't like each other. Buffalo, I mean, New England beats them in a weather game, first game out, and you can make the case that the weather was just insane and New England was better running the football at that point. And then Buffalo goes to New England and beats up on them. So you got 1-1 for these two teams. So we're going for the third and final here, boys. -4, Buffalo's favored. 44 is the total. What do we think here? Josh Allen, playoff game against New England and Bill Belichick. Belichick is gonna, he's gonna put some schemes out there and give him some little fits. I would assume, anyways. He is one of the best coaches in the NFL, if not the best coach. So, what are we doing here with the Patriots and the Bills, JJ?
Yeah, so there's some concerning things for me about this game. Now, this is a great teaser game, goes without saying. This does. I say goes without saying. I mean, you could take it to 10.5. I know people don't like 10.5 because it's not your typical Wong. But to me, look, a likely lower scoring game. I also like this is not a wind game. Like, it's going to be very cold, frigid. It's going to feel in the negatives. So sure, but this is not going to be windy. And look, let's be honest. Like, cold now is not like cold 20 years ago. I mean, these guys got like the heated pads that are attached to their jerseys. The benches are heated. Not saying it's not going to feel cold. I'm sure it will, but it's not like it used to be.
I mean, JJ, they take Viagra. That's what they do. Bart Scott told me. He told me Viagra is that's what you do.
And they have like heated receiver gloves now too. Like, it's just like everything is. It's not going to feel like it. And there won't be much wind. Supposedly it's not supposed to snow or anything either. So. But it will be very frigid, and Josh Allen's numbers in the cold, much like Derek Carr's, are like woof bad, which is crazy to think because the kid played at Wyoming and played in a bunch of cold games there, but just kind of crazy on a few fronts in relation to his stats in these types of games. Mac Jones doesn't have a whole lot of familiarity with this type of weather, but I still think you're going to get a better version of him. I mean, Belichick's got a lot of tape on this team. They played obviously twice this season, and they've. This team in general has been around with this and similar offense for the last few years. Look, I like the idea of taking the Patriots up to make a double digits, whether you take them 8.5 or 10.5, you make an adjusted teaser, an alternate teaser with another team. As far as the game goes, I think there's a lot of variables here. I think that it's an overplay. Like, if you told me one of these teams goes up 2 touchdowns, I would tell you I would love the over, because I think either way, this game's going to play close. When it's all said and done. But needless to say, it's a tough game for me to back. Gun to my head, I'll take the 4 with the Patriots. But I do love the idea of teasing them up in this spot.
All right. There we go. Tony, gun to JJ's head. He's taking the Patriots. What about you? Gun to your head. What you got?
The Patriots have been the most overrated team in football. I usually agree with Dunkel. I don't like starting out against them on both games here because, man, the Patriots, God, they suck. Like, I got to pull their schedule up. I got to go to the old schedule move because, man, I just feel like they haven't beat anybody. Dolphins just beat them. Sure, they pounded the Jags. The Bills beat them. Colts pounded them. Beat the Bills in that win game. They pounded the Titans when the Titans were struggling. I don't know. I think the Patriots suck. I can't sell myself on these players. I do think Belichick, the 1 point I agree with, he's seen him twice. He's the best coach in football, maybe the best coach ever. Great game planner. He's going to find weakness. They're going to be able to run the ball more than likely. But, man, I look at this roster, and you can only do so much as a coach. And I just don't see it with Mac Jones. I don't see it with the weapons. The only guy I like at all is Damian Harris. I just can't sell myself on them beating Buffalo. And for that reason, I have to take Buffalo. And it makes the 2-game slate on Saturday pretty easy for me because I just don't see much here. Like, I can just totally fade New England. I can play maybe 1 or 2 Buffalo pieces, and then I can just jam that first game. And I like slates like that. I know a lot of people will do that anyways, but still, people will filter in other guys here and there. And I just don't see it. I think New England sucks. So give me Buffalo. Give me the under. I don't see points in this game. That's what I like.
All right. Well, let's not go too deep into the 2-gamer strategy because we're going to have a show on Saturday for you guys for the 2-gamer. So we'll talk more about it, but it's interesting you bring up the 2-gamer point because, man, me and you are, I think, headed in opposite directions when it comes to our way of thinking for this week.
That.
It's very interesting because
get on JJ's side. I want you both on the other side, both you.
Well,
bastards.
no, actually,
get on there.
I kind of have the opposite thought process of you for at least for DFS, the way I think you're looking at the DFS slate. And
I thought we weren't going into it right now.
I'm not going to go into it. I'm just saying it's interesting for me. But for this game specifically, I think there's going to be points. I think that New England is gonna put up more points than people are expecting here. I think Belichick being able to see this team twice, that Mac Jones, I think these guys are going to be a little better on offense than people think. I think that's one assumption. People think that Buffalo's just, if New England wins, it's going to be an ugly, ugly game. And if Buffalo wins, it's going to be like 30-13. Like, I think that's how people think. I think this is going to be a very close competitive game where it's going to come down to, maybe even a field goal, like a 3-point game. Like, I think it's going to be that close. I think there's going to be points. And I think for that reason of me thinking this game stays close, I have to take the Patriots and the points because that's just, I have this feeling that I'm just not betting against Belichick in this spot. I refuse to do it against the Bills team that literally just consistently will end up playing down to some of these bad teams. And I know you can just say like they know they're better than teams and it's whatever games, but like that Jets game was just ugly to watch. I'm sorry, just so ugly. Just so many games I can just go back and look to. I mean, they lost to the Jaguars. How'd they lose to the Jaguars this year? I don't even understand that. The Titans game I get because the Titans were good then. They beat the Colts. They smacked the Texans. But like some of these games, they lose to the Steelers game. Like some of these games I just don't understand. And maybe you can just say they were just lapses and whatever, but they'll sometimes play down. And I think the Patriots are a perfect example of, and maybe you'll say, no, they won't because it's a rivalry and they hate the Patriots. But the Patriots, like Tony said, I think maybe from a talent perspective, be one of the worst talented teams in the playoffs. I just think their coaching is so elite that they get by with it. And I'm going to take coaching here and say they can keep them close in this spot.
And let's be clear. I mean, both teams, in fact, are overrated. And I want to be clear on my stance as well. I bet the Bills in a bunch of different ways in the last game. I mean, I loved the fact that it was going to be a 40-degree day and Josh Allen would throw through this team without issue. I teased them. I bet their team total over. Bet them on the money line as +1.5 as well. This spot is a little different though, and the lines pushed a bit as well. And let's also not forget, like Josh Allen is a bedwetter in these games. he has been a shit his pants type of quarterback in these type of games that mean a lot. Just weird shit has happened relative to him. And they've already come out and said that, like, it was a dig. Somebody came out and said, like, he's just been throwing the ball too hard. I don't know if
did you see the touchdown on the left side that Diggs dropped, but it was a friggin' bullet and it went like it hit his hands and just went zoom. I think he's clearly upset. I think he was talking about that play though, where Josh Allen was pissed he missed it, and it was a friggin' bullet. It was like a 3-yard pass too. It was just a bullet. Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt he said it.
And I think that we also forget too, Buffalo is so one-dimensional. I mean, they don't run the football at all. Now, Singletary's been decent over these last few weeks, but they just do not run the football. So a bit one-dimensional in this spot, cold weather. I think to your point, JSU, I do think the Patriots move the ball, and I do think this makes sense for an over. I mean, the total is about the same that it was. Again, it's really how much you weigh into the frigid weather, because it's not going to be windy and it's not going to be snowing. So, if you believe the frigid weather is going to hold this game back from points, sure. But Buffalo scored a ton of points, and I'd argue the Patriots missed a lot of scoring opportunities in that first game. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, gun in my head, I like to forward the Patriots and love the teaser spot.
Also, too, I will say the Bills recently have struggled stopping the run. And that's one of the spots where the Patriots just excel running the football. And the Bills have struggled a little bit stopping the run. So that's just something to watch for. Okay, official picks. I got my notepad out. Before we get to them, I just see a couple guys in the chat. We got some Raiders love. Raiders. Let's see. Sean, Raiders. Bengals win and mix and catches 6+ balls from Jay. Okay. Todd likes the Bengals. There's a mix. Bengals. I think the Bengals are a little ahead in the chat pickers. So people just by a tad side with Big T on the Bengals from the chat. But let's see what you got with the Bills Pats. Big T. Prediction.
Yeah, I'm on the opposite of you guys again. I want it to be known. You guys both got the Patriots. I got the Bills. Write that thing down. I can't wait till next week.
And JSU, don't forget, he's got the under and we got the over.
Yeah, exactly. Wrote that down too. Correct.
Under.
Way under. I think the Patriots score 6.
Way under. Pats.
I'm not betting on
6.
I mean, I'm not banking.
I wrote it down.
I'm not banking on Kendrick Bourne beating me. I'm not super worried about it.
Dude, I wrote it down. I won't erase it. I see it right there. Under, Pats score 6.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, JJ, you've got the Patriots in the win or the Bills?
Patriots and the over.
Patriots in the, I love it. Me and JJ are aligned here. Patriots in the over. What do you guys got in the chat? Let's hear it. Are we on the double J side again, or are we on Big T? Big T beat us last time, JJ. Come on, people. Get on the double J side. And by the way, Holden, I saw you in the chat, Holden. That's how you get a nickname real quick, okay? Your nicknames suck. You got to work on it, okay? I saw you. And if you didn't listen to the first part, which I know you didn't, go back and listen to the beginning of this show. Just give it a quick listen. So, all right, Pats and over. All right, I love it. We're good to go. All right, yep, Buffalo. I don't know, Tony. People liking Big T picking winners. Of course he took Buffalo, but he gave us a 20-17 cover, JJ. So yeah. He's half on Big T's side, half on our side. We get the cover at least. Yeah. All right. We'll see. I mean, come on. Where's the Patriots lovers? I know there are Patriots lovers in there. You're all around, so I know you're there.
No way. AP likes Kansas City. No way. No fucking way.
AP, we haven't gotten there yet. We might as well get that shit game out of the way. I mean,
I don't believe it.
Just get there.
Stop the show.
AP, you're watching us right now. It's not. I love it. AP's in the chat watching us right now. We got to talk some Chiefs. So let's do it for AP. Steelers, Chiefs, -12.5. Chiefs obviously favored at home. 45.5 is the total here. I mean, listen, when the opposing quarterback comes out and says pretty much we have no chance, they're the best team in the NFL. what do you do like as a team when you hear your quarterback come out and just say that publicly? Like, oh, we haven't talked as a team yet, but like, come on, they're like the best team in football and they were so good last year. Like, what do you guys do when you hear stuff like that? This team has literally no shot. And how do I not bet 12.5, Tony? Like, how do I just not bet the Chiefs?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Pittsburgh's rough. I'll be happy when they're not in the playoffs anymore. I hate these big spreads because who knows? But yeah, I mean, I have to take Kansas City. I can't take Pittsburgh. It's one of those things that if Pittsburgh backdoors and beats me, if Kansas City's up 17 in the fourth and Big Ben goes and scores and they lose by 10, I can just live with it. I can live with myself. I just can't physically bet on Big Ben versus Patrick Mahomes in a playoff game on the road. Big Ben's just happy to get in. I'm sure he didn't even think he was getting in. I mean, he needed all that stuff to happen. I mean, I can't. I don't like this. I don't feel like crazy good about this game, though. I hate games like this. Kansas City obviously is going to want to get a lead, but if they're up 17 in the second half, they're not going to keep slinging it around. They want to get healthy. They got bigger goals than winning a playoff game. They want to get out of this game healthy with the victory. I don't love this game by any means, but since we're officially picking every game this weekend, I will take the Chiefs and I guess the under. I don't love this game, though. I love the first two that I'm going to own you guys on, but this one I'm not super confident in.
Oh, man, I love the fact that, like, no matter what, next week, like, at least one of us will not want to do this show.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be that bad. Like, it's going to be so good. JJ, so we just got to the Chiefs game. Tony agrees with me. Like, there's just no way I can bet the Steelers here. You got the quarterback from the opposing team and the Steelers talking about how they have no shot. I mean, how do you back a guy like that?
First of all, welcome back to me. Don't know what the hell happened. But
you leave?
Yeah, the shitter net real quick.
I did leave. I got disconnected. Not sure how, but I'm back. So this spot, I actually really like the Chiefs under their team total. It's 29.5. Look, if we get the exact same type of performance from Pittsburgh, yes, Kansas City will go over their number. However, this defense is really legit. Bend don't break. The reason they broke quite a bit the last time was because they just couldn't even get a first down. I do think it'll be a little different this time around. Look, the Pittsburgh offense sucks. It is what it is. They have no offensive line. For me personally, though, this is going to be potentially Big Ben's last game as a quarterback. I just think you're going to see a better performance from this team than we saw a few weeks back.
Get in there against me again. Let's go head to head all weekend, Dunkel. I'm coming after that 8-2 record.
I also think there's some inherent value in the number. This total is a few points higher than it was a few weeks back. This number is also a few points higher than it was a few weeks back, which is why I ultimately like the team total under. I think the number is a bit padded. The first time these two played again, a few weeks back, their number was about 26.5, 27. Now, because of this new line and because of the egregious way Pittsburgh lost, you're now getting a number that hangs at 29.5. Just a value play for me. I think it's a few points off. So I do like them under their team total. Look, I think there's a definite scenario where Kansas City can win this game, 20-7, 20-3, 27-10, where they cover the spread and the game flat goes under. But needless to say, I just think, Kansas City in a spot where they have no reason to really pound this team. And the idea that this game's going to shoot out on Pittsburgh's end is kind of silly to me as well. So, yeah, I think Pittsburgh knows their recipe to win this game is keep it low scoring as best as possible. And I like Kansas City under their team total.
Yeah, definitely the only shot the Steelers in a world would have is keeping this game under, in my opinion, under 20. Like if they could somehow do something like that, yeah, maybe, because then they don't have to score that many points. But I can't do it. I can't back a quarterback who's already checked out. I don't care what you guys say. That dude's checked out. He wants to be on his vacation right now. He's pissed. He had a vacation all lined up, and he can't go on the vacation anymore with his wife. So I don't blame him. He wanted to win and go home, Tony. I'm convinced he wanted that win so bad, and in his mindset, he left the field a winner. And now when you play in the playoffs, at some point he's going to lose, and he knows that. And now he's going to end up losing his last game in the NFL. And I'm sure he's pissed about that as well. So there we go. Official picks here. I got the Chiefs. If I have to take, the spread too, I'm not betting this, but if I had to, I'll take the Chiefs minus the 12.5. I just think the Steelers have nothing. Tony, official pick for you, sir.
Chiefs and under.
Chiefs and under. JJ.
Steelers under.
Okay. Steelers under for JJ. So you got the Steelers winning? No. You got the
winning. Yeah, Chiefs winning.
Yeah, Chiefs.
Yeah, he's got the Steelers plus the points. We're always talking. We're talking plus the points always.
I mean,
but we want the move.
Well, everyone's
going
to pick the Chiefs. Yeah, I mean,
you know what? I know.
We need the winners too for the point of the game. So
I know the Colts was one of the worst regular season losses that I can remember, at least in recent memory. If somehow the Chiefs lost this game, this would be definitely one of the worst playoffs.
It would be worse than the Colts loss for sure. If the Chiefs lose this game, they can't lose. No way. Not outright. They would need like 2 defensive scores, maybe like a punt return, just totally crazy stuff.
Let me ask you this: how many points in the first half would the Chiefs have to go down for you to start thinking, "Holy shit, they actually might lose this game"? Like how many points would it have to be?
24.
I was going to say 3 touchdowns. Yeah, I mean, if they were down 3 touchdowns at halftime, I would definitely be concerned. If they were down like 3 touchdowns in the first quarter, I probably still wouldn't be worried.
How great is it that Tony's like 3 touchdowns in half, and I'd start to worry a little bit there.
I mean, I would definitely be concerned though at half if they're down 21.
Chat. So I don't even need you to tell me who you think will win for this game, unless you think it's the Steelers. If you got the balls to say the Steelers are actually going to win, you think that, throw it in the chat. Throw it in there. Anyone think the Steelers win this game outright? There's no way there can be. Even Steelers fans have to know that they're gonna lose. But yeah, I think Najee plays too. Someone said Najee may not play. I don't know. I think Najee's gonna play. Yeah,
definitely playing.
That dude, you can't even pull him off the field for like 5 snaps.
Like he's not even like an injury concern. Like
they've been down 35. in the fourth quarter, he's still in the game.
Just feeding him the rock.
Oh, it's so true. All right, guys, don't forget, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, that red box, the bottom right-hand corner. Let's go. Show us the love. Hit that button. As we move on to the NFC and the NFC winners here, let's start with the old Philadelphia Eagles versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here. Bucks minus 9.5. 46 is the total. Bucks obviously at home, taking on the Eagles. Eagles rested a lot of their starters last game, got put a whooping on by the Dallas Cowboys. Now they get the Bucks, and the Bucks are kind of, they're losing guys left and right. What are we doing here with this Bucks Eagles game, JJ?
Yeah, I mean, so them putting this game on a Sunday versus Saturday, I actually believe really helps the Eagles. The weather is supposed to be quite windy during game time for this one, like gusts over 30. Yeah, it's warm, sure, but it's going to be like raining and heavy winds. This is not exactly a recipe for points in this game when one quarterback in Jalen Hurts can't throw, and Tom Brady's throwing to like UPS employees. So it's very difficult to love points in this game at a high level. But look, the Bucks, of course, are still a funnel defense. They're very good versus the run. They are not as good versus the run in years past. They're still good versus the run. They're just not like elite like they used to be the last 5 years. This is still a Brady run team. I get it. Philly's got nothing to lose in this spot. And Philly's been really good running the football all season long, and they've been really good with explosive plays all season long. And Jalen Hurts is, even I've probably been a bit too critical of him, as a passer. He still makes throws when he has to. There's a few easy ones that I feel he misses a little too much. And look, he's going to have his opportunities against this defense, but the wind is not exactly a recipe for success with a guy that just struggles to hit open guys to begin with. So I think the wind is an interesting variable in this game and how it all plays out. And maybe Lenny's back for this game potentially. Is that true? And which there goes my Lev Bell, 15 DFS points. I tell you what, he had like 11, right? 11 or 10 the other week, which was nice. But there goes that bet right out the window. As far as this one, the way it plays out, look, this is a playoff game. This is Tom Brady, your most experienced guy in these spots. This Philly team is relatively young all around. But again, they might play with nothing to lose. The first time these two played, I think Philly might have backdoor covered, maybe, or backdoor. Yeah, I think they backdoor covered. But the game was really dominated by Tampa. How much do you really, weigh that in as an earlier season game? Try to pull data from that as you can. But for me, this is another good teaser spot. You take them right down to 2.5. It'll be a popular teaser. But look, I mean, Tampa's offense is too balanced for this Philly defense. I know you can't really pass on Philly. I think they've only given up 300-yard passers all season. So it's likely going to be tough going for Brady. But if they can keep him upright and they can keep the Philly D-line away from him, this is likely a decent game for this offense for Tampa. And can Philly score? I think that's your big thing. To me personally, if you're going to bet Philly, you got to be thinking they're going to score, because with Tampa, you're likely going to get at least 3 touchdowns here. So can Philly get 3 touchdowns, or at least stay around there to cover? Maybe, maybe not. I don't love this game. It's one of my least favorite games of the entire slate. But I do see some value in teasing Tampa down.
Yeah, and just to be clear, so Fournette and Bernard Gio are both designated to return. Do they end up playing though? We'll find out. I'm sure they're pushing for them to play though. I mean, I definitely think AB thinks they're pushing these injury guys back to play, because they're just riding these guys so hard. No rest. Get back there and play, Tony. So what do you got here? Tampa or Philly?
Yeah, this is maybe my favorite game of the weekend. Tampa. I mean, Philly. It's another thing. Like they're super overrated to me. They haven't beat a winning team all season, which is crazy when I heard that. I believe it though, because they suck. They're not any good. Hurts is terrible. They're bad. They haven't beat a single winning team all season, and now they got to go into Tampa, play the greatest quarterback in playoff history. And it's just not going to happen. They're going to get blown out. It's going to be 3-4 touchdown game, easy win for Tampa. Fantasy wise, I'm probably not going to like a ton, but love Tampa in this spot. I don't see any way Philly. I'm so happy the number's under 10 because they're definitely winning by double digits. Philly is just, I can't imagine betting on Jalen Hurts against Tom Brady in the playoffs.
All right, Tony. 2 for 2. Me and you are aligned. Let's go. 2 for 2. Chiefs, obviously. So 2. Last 2. We've been aligned. So now I'm putting this 2 for 2. Yes, it should be 2 of 4, but I'm just saying the last 2 were aligned. So I love this part. Tampa, this is, I think, like Tony said, this is one of the easier spots on the slate. I'm not a fan of Philly. I have not been all year. I think Jalen Hurts sucks as a quarterback. Philly's big strength is running the football. That's what Tampa does so well, is stop the run. This is just a bad matchup for Philly. It really is. It's a really bad matchup for Philly. So I'm going to take Tampa. I'm going to take Tom Brady. Tom Brady's moving on. Give me.
I can't wait to bet against Brady too, for the record, next week. No matter who they play next week, I'm betting against them, unless it's Arizona, or I don't even know if they can play Arizona.
Yeah, who's the potential matchup?
I don't even know in the.
I gotta look. I'll look.
I mean, it depends on who wins in the NFL. So.
Yeah. All right. So we both got Tampa. Tony, do you have anything? Do you like Tampa plus the points well, or
do I what?
Do you like any other bets besides just Tampa winning?
I don't like the total. If I was going to bet the total just to pick all of them, I would take the under, but I don't feel strongly about the total.
JJ, do you have any bets besides the winner? What do you got?
I would lean under. Again, don't love it. And yeah, gun in my head, I'd lay the points with Tampa.
Yeah. All right. So we all got Tampa
It's the first
here.
one we all agreed on. That's a good one. I'm glad.
All right. Let's do it.
You guys are the two most optimistic people I know. JSU's got the pom-poms out when he's like, yeah, I'm on the opposite end of Big T. fucking love it. Then when JSU like, what? How lucky am I, Tony? 2 games in a row, me and you have the same.
Bunch of haters. I work with a bunch of haters, chat. This is some bullshit. I can't even be friends with Big T for like 5 minutes on this show. I got to just always be against them, hate his guts. This isn't a stick either, by the way. This is like actually real too. Like that, I'm not trying to like agree with him, then disagree with him. This is just how it works, but it is great for the purposes of this show that we don't always agree. I just hate people. I refuse to believe though that people would love us to just agree on everything on the show. Like people would hate that. By the way,
wouldn't be fun if we didn't have our own opinions.
Yeah, like that's the bullshit no one wants to listen to. So I'm glad that we at least have our own opinions. Big T texted Bama and told them to tank.
I don't even know what that means. Like,
I don't know what it means either, but all I know is we got dog money. We got that dog money. Sorry, Bama backers.
Yeah, that game, I loaded the wagons in that game too. I just kept betting it. Like every time Bama would do something good, I would just bet Georgia. I just kept firing it.
It was
when that dude went down, when that receiver went down, I just couldn't physically see how Alabama could beat him with no receivers.
Who runs Pure than Mangone, who manually created 20 lineups and completely faded Jamison Williams?
Yeah, now that is running Pure. Because
Yeah,
I did not run that
amazing.
Pure. I had a lot of Jamison Williams in my lineups. I just bet Georgia.
I had 100% of them.
Yeah, I mean, I was close to you. I had a lot of them. So my bets covered my DFS because my DFS did not go as good as Mangone's full fade.
Yep, that's one of those times where I'm really glad I didn't play because I know I would have definitely had a bunch of that kid.
And the worst part is he was literally wide open every play before he got hurt. He was just running wide open.
He would have had 300 yards receiving that game if he wanted it.
He was wide open.
I didn't understand, like, I mean, not to go into that slate, but when I saw ownership numbers and I saw that Bryce Young was like 15% higher owned than him, I'm like, where do they think his numbers are going to come from? Like, why would people have not paid Jamison instead of Bryce? I didn't understand. Bryce Young doesn't even run. So like, where did people think his numbers were going? It was just wild.
He's the best dude. He like when he went down, I was like, Tony, I was like, no, dude, this is it. Now they don't have the one dude who went down the last time they played, and then Mechie or whatever his name is.
Bryce Young was dropping dimes too, and they just weren't catching it. I mean, the other guys just weren't capable.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's that for the old college talk real quick. Let us know, guys. Any Philly backers? I see one Philly money line in the chat. Old Blue 12. He's got Philly money line. He's putting it out there. He likes Philly. So we'll see that. I like
Put
it.
Put that money to better use. Go to a
Steve Anthony says Packers Bengals would be sexy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Packers,
I agree.
Bengals. I could watch that game.
Any sort of passing game in the Super Bowl, I think everyone would like.
I want Brady to go to Green Bay and just hang his nuts on Rodgers.
It would kind of be funny if he did.
Once again.
All right.
God, if he did it this year.
I want to talk about, before we get to the final stuff, I want to talk about this Arizona Cardinals.
What about the Dallas San Fran game? Do we get to talk about that?
That's my favorite game, so I want to wait till the end.
Oh, we're not going in order?
One. No, that's my favorite game. I think that's the most interesting game.
You're the host, so you do it how you want.
Listen, Crane taught me the best way to host, and I'm trying to do the Crane. All right, Crane taught me. I'm just trying to learn from the master. You save the best for last, and I really think that game could end up being the best for last. Maybe it's just because I think that I'm still trying to decide which way I lean on that game. But let's talk about the Rams and Cardinals. Tony, me and you have been fighting, against each other. Rams, Cardinals. You like the Rams. I like the Cardinals all year. We've been going back and forth on each other. Now you get the Rams at home. They're 4-point favorites here against the Cardinals. I mean, for you at 49.5, this has got to be a load up spot on the Rams, right?
It's just funny how the season goes because I never stay locked onto my stuff either. I watch the games and kind of change my opinions. And man, I think these two teams might be the most fraudulent teams in the entire NFC to be. I hate the Rams too now. I used to like them. I don't like them anymore either. So I definitely don't like Arizona as a team.
If the 49ers played either of these two teams in the
playoffs,
it would be the 49ers.
I wish Dallas and the Niners played the opposite because I'd pick both of them for sure.
I would literally pick Dallas and 49ers. That's exactly what I was
hate
thinking.
These two freaking teams, but I honestly think like everyone likes the Rams now as a 4-point favorite. And it sounds crazy because I was on the Rams side all year. I'm actually going to back Arizona in this spot, I think. Catching 4, I don't love it because I do think Arizona is like, I mean, I can't even call them fraudulent anymore because no one thinks they're good anymore. So it's almost flipped enough where I don't know. I don't like Arizona. I will go against Arizona next week, guaranteed, but I'm taking the 4 this week, and I'm going to take Arizona reluctantly.
Wow. So you think they win the game, or you're just taking the 4?
I mean, if I'm ever getting 4, if I take 4, I have to think they can win. So yes, I would take the money line too. That's one thing I do betting wise. Not saying it's right. Dunkel, I'm sure doesn't think it's right. Like some of the stuff I do, but if I ever take 4 as a dog, I pretty much always think I don't always bet the money line, but I think that they can win. Like if I thought the favorite wins by 3 or something, I just wouldn't bet it at all. So I like Arizona. I would take Arizona on the money line too if I had to.
All right. Okay, Dunkel, little surprise there. Big T is on the Cardinals points. He thinks they have a shot to win though as well. What do you think about this game, Rams Cardinals?
Again.
You hate to see it.
This is so I've been consistently betting first half overs in Cardinals games. Now playoffs does change things a bit. But look, I mean, these games shoot and they have different paths to shoot. You know, a team can go up 2 or 3 touchdowns and then all hell will break loose with the other team. So this will likely be a spot that I do target the over at 49 in some flavor, whether it's first half over 24.5 or first half over 24. Again, to me, it's just been a Cardinals first half over. They've been that type of team all season. And look, the Rams, of course, have offense. I have concerns about the Rams, though. I mean, look, Stafford, I don't know if it's a system thing. The dude can't throw like 8-yard outs to anybody not named Cooper Kupp. Like, he just can't. I don't know if it's a timing thing. Him and Odell are on the furthest thing from the same page. Van Jefferson's really tailed off since Odell's come here or gone there. And their offense, they've been running with Sonny Michel, but I mean, you know, I don't love him as a running back. I don't know. Like it does make sense to back the Cardinals as a small dog here, take the 4 in a game that's a little closer to a coin flip, I think, than folks might think. But to me, I think there's just points going to be in this one. It's just a matter of how I want to target it. Maybe the Cardinals team total over, first half over. Haven't fully decided how I want to approach this game, but it will likely result in some flavor of an over at this current number.
All right. Yeah. So JJ, so you're on the Cardinals side then.
Dueling the Cardinals as a small dog, correct?
All right. Cool. I am at a loss with this game. I'm gonna be honest. I think, like Tony said, these are the 2 most fraudulent teams right now that we're watching. I literally don't want to pick either of them. I mean, the Cardinals have disgusted me after just riding them so hard. Yes, D-Hop has definitely being out has hurt them, but that's not an excuse to look as bad as they've looked. Like, it just can't be. I'm sorry. Kyler has got to play better. And man, he's just played so bad. And then on the other side, Stafford just seems to make key mistakes consistently. I will lean, though, that I guess a slight lean on Arizona, but I'm not comfortable about it. I'm going to take them here, but definitely my most uncomfortable bet of the week, actually, that by far, this game. Like, I really don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. If the Rams went out there and won by 30, I wouldn't be surprised. And if the Cardinals won by 30, I honestly wouldn't be surprised. Like, I think it could be that a shocking outcome like that. Like, I don't know. I really don't. So I don't want to say I have a strong take when I definitely don't. So this is going to be one of the games where I just go with the Cardinals and hopefully they can get it done. But yeah, no strong take here. I'll lean the Cardinals though. So, all right, Cardinals for the show. Everyone's on the Cardinals. We got Rams backers in the chat. Where are the Rams guys at? Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp. Come on. They've been so good this year. Odell's been awful, but I mean, that's besides the point. So let's get to the best game on the slate. I think anyways, the best game on the slate. Two of the teams that I wish weren't playing each other because I think they're both really good football teams. 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys -3.5 are the favorites at home. 51 is the total in this game. So I think it's going to be a good game. Both really good teams, like I said. Tony, what are we doing here? Cowboys and 49ers. I know you've been a big 49ers fan this year. You've talked them up a lot. Is this a 49ers spot for you?
Yeah, I mean, the annoying part is, Dallas is one of the teams that I really didn't want to see them play, which we just talked about in the Arizona game. I wish that like these two teams, because I don't like Tampa with all their injuries. I mean, I talked about Philly. I don't like the Rams. I don't like Arizona. Green Bay, I'm okay with, but I'm not like in love with Green Bay. I don't think they're invincible. So these are kind of my two favorite teams in the NFC, and they play each other, which sucks. And Dallas at home, I think, is the worst matchup for San Francisco. Honestly, maybe Tampa would be a worse matchup just because of the run D. But man, I'm torn on this game because it's two teams that I think are pretty good. And the crazy part is when we talk about the bracket after this, I do think whoever wins this game is going to be my pick to win the NFC, because if Dallas wins, they're going to play Tampa. We watched the first game of the season. I thought Dallas was better than them, and I think Dallas is better now than that, and I think Tampa's way worse now than that. So I hope that if Dallas wins, I am going to bet a big number on Dallas versus Tampa next week. I'm going to bomb that game. And the funny thing is, if San Fran wins, they're going to go to Green Bay. I think that's their best matchup against Green Bay, who can't stop the run. So I'll bet a big number on that game. So whoever wins this game, I'm going to be very, very heavy on in the futures. Right now, you can get the Cowboys 12-1 to win the Super Bowl, Niners 20-1 to win the Super Bowl. I love both of those bets because whoever wins this game, I think could be my pick to win the Super Bowl, as crazy as it sounds, with all these teams that are better odds. So I say all that. I'm just not sold on this game. I mean, we're picking all the games, so I'll give a pick. I guess I'll pick Dallas at home. I do love San Francisco. I'm torn on this game. I really am. I'm not going to bet big on this game. I'm going to enjoy watching it, though, because I like JSU. I think it's the best game of the weekend. When we get to DFS, I'll have some DFS plays for sure this weekend when we do the show. Just betting wise, though, I'm going to just enjoy this game. I don't think it's a strong bet either way. I will be, like I said, though, huge bet next week. No matter who wins, I will be burying whoever wins this game.
All right. I love it. Dunkel, what do you think on this game? Is this just an easy spot for you? Do you think both these teams are well matched? What do you think?
Favorite spot of the weekend, 49ers in every direction. This is your, believe it or not, your number one offense in the NFL in yards per play. This team on a pound-for-pound basis offensively fucks in so many ways. They run the ball extremely efficiently. No team is better than play action as them. The only thing that holds this team back is the occasional Jimmy G blackout play. Okay, it's the only thing that holds this team back. He threw a very costly interception in the must-win game this past weekend, where he still ended up bringing him back. No doubt there, but very costly interception in the end zone. And this is the type of shit that happens with him. What I will say is, schematically, this is the sharpest team in the NFL. And here's my other problem: when you break down how this game plays out, Dallas is arguably the biggest risk-taking defense in the NFL, and they're the biggest risk-taking defense in the playoffs currently, the 49ers are all scheme based. Okay. Everything is all hairline in terms of, going in one direction, cutting in the other, motioning in one direction, moving in the other. Everything is all trick based and scheme based. I've watched this Dallas team enough. They're one of the most undisciplined defenses in the NFL. And what Dallas's strengths are is on the outsides. Okay. Left and right, between Diggs and their other corners and safeties. Jimmy G does a lot of his damage across the middle. Everything is slants to Debo inside, Kittle running down the seam in the middle. A lot of what they attack is really where Dallas is weak. Offensively, love San Francisco over their team total, 23.5 minus 115. It's my favorite bet of the weekend. I think San Francisco wins outright. I think you could take them plus the points. This has nothing to do with Dallas being fraudulent. I consider these two of these teams the better teams in the NFC. I thought Dallas would have been live at Green Bay. Dallas is live against Tampa. San Fran's live against Tampa. San Fran's live against Green Bay. Matchup wise, these two are scary teams. And I agree with Tony. Winner of this game likely has a decent shot to make the Super Bowl, even if they have to go through Tampa and Green Bay. These two teams are very explosive offensively in a very pass heavy league. And let's not forget about San Francisco's defense. This team has a very underrated D-line. This team is as healthy as they've been all year. To me, it wouldn't have mattered who San Fran played this week. They were going to get a bet from me. I don't like necessarily that happened to be the Cowboys, just because the Cowboys have the firepower offensively to force Jimmy G to have a good game versus just an average game. Regardless of the schemes are so good for San Francisco, he's put in such a good position to succeed in this offense. So many factors here leading the 49ers. So just love the spot. 49ers in every direction.
Yeah, it's interesting. You just love the spot so much. And I find it one of the tougher spots on the week just because I'm so strong on both these teams. I feel like they're both so good. I love your points, though, with the scheme and where Dallas is strong. I will say, though, like Micah Parsons in the middle of that defense, that's one thing. He is a playmaker. Yeah, he makes fucking plays, and that dude is a beast. That's going to be where he's gonna have a big say in this game. I think he's gonna need to make some plays for Dallas. I do agree with you, though. They gamble a ton. Does that gambling pay off? Does it bite him in the ass? It could bite him in the ass, JJ. And so for that, I kind of get your whole point. I just have a feeling, though, that this Dallas team has what it takes to hang in with San Francisco. San Francisco's played a lot of close games here. They've won a lot of close games this year too. But I just feel like this is Dallas. I feel like Dallas wins here. I've loved their defense all year. I think they have real good studs that can make plays in the playoffs that you're going to need. And then on offense, their offense honestly hasn't been that great. Let's be honest. I mean, I'm throwing out the game against Philly because they played against backups, but their offense hasn't been that great. But I do think their offense can move the football against the 49ers here, where honestly, they're going to need their passing game to get going because that run game with Zeke just isn't it right now. And it's not going to work anyways against the 49ers run D. So they're going to need to pass the football, be efficient. And Dak's got the playmakers. He can do it. So I think this is a very close game. I'm going to lean the Cowboys, though, to win it in the end and move on. But I love either of these teams. And I agree with both you guys that the winner of this game is the best shot at beating Tampa, Packers. It's the team that none of those top teams want to see. That's for sure.
I will say, so the dude in the chat says Dallas hasn't beat a good team since October. And it is kind of true. And Dunkel liking the Niners. I might just hop back on the Niners and just get off that. And this is what I think I do this good where I don't get stuck in a take. I'm looking at their schedule. They really haven't beat anybody, and they might just feel better than they are to us because they got good skill players. They got skill players on D too, like we like to talk about. But man, they haven't beat anybody. I mean, the Eagles who suck, the Cardinals beat them. They beat Washington, the Giants, Washington, the Saints, the Raiders beat them on Thanksgiving or Christmas, whatever that was, Thanksgiving. Chiefs beat. I mean, they haven't beat anybody, literally. I'm on the Niners with Dunkel. I'm changing my pick. I don't even remember if I picked Dallas, but I'm picking the Niners now.
You did, but I changed it on the sheet.
Yeah,
so I got
I'm picking the
49ers. All right. So we got it. 49ers for JJ, 49ers for Tony, Cowboys for myself.
Let's get them home. Let's get them home, Tony.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the Niners have been my team too, so it feels good to switch with you. I was a little worried at Dallas, but screw Dallas. They always choke too. Screw them.
To your point, JSU, so between Diggs and Parsons, they are just going to delay and counter and fake pitch Parsons circles on that D-line. There is no team. If you watch this team versus other teams, there's no team that runs the schemes they do at the consistency that they do. And it does leave young players on ice skates. And I think that
this game's a lock. I've done a full circle. I'm with Dunkel. Dunkel said it's a lock. I think it's a lock too. I've gone full circle. I remembered the Broncos game where they ran it right down their throat. Everything in my head now, this is a lock. I'm betting big with you. I'm in with Dunkel.
God, I can still remember the text messages from the Titans game. Tony, you remember the Titans game? 20-17, big L for San Francisco, where you're like, this fucking team is awful. This team
I mean, Jimmy G was terrible in that game.
I'll tell you this.
The Titans got to be the luckiest team.
He's the X factor for me in a negative way, not in a positive way. The way the 49ers lose this game is you just get an egregiously bad performance from Jimmy G, because everything else is such a smash spot for them.
That's what the Cowboys need. They need to stuff. If they could somehow put them in 3rd and longs, which I grant you it's going to be tough, but if they do it, then that's their best chance of winning. Forcing Jimmy G to, like Carson Wentz, get them home. And if Jimmy G can do it, they'll win. If he can't, they'll lose, but we'll see. That's going to be a tough task. 49ers run offense is definitely very
I love
good.
Shanahan too. Shanahan's going to scheme them up. I'm a big Shanahan guy.
And you talk about momentum, like I mentioned prior with the Raiders, 49ers were down 17-0 with their playoff hopes on the line. That is a huge momentum win for that team.
McVay was dancing in the end zone with his freaking team, like so happy, stroking each other. Shanahan was just sitting over there watching it.
The ref was like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you can't be
I've never seen a coach do that in the first half.
Never.
Like ever. Funny, in a regular season game on top of it. Like, Trent Williams is huge. Yeah, Josh, in the chat. I mean, Trent Williams is
actually, you know what? That's actually a very good point, too. Trent Williams, they didn't have him last game. That's actually a really good point.
He looked healthy in those videos today, too. I think he's full go.
Should be playing.
God, you guys are putting a hard press on the 49ers for me.
Yeah, they're gonna roll for us. Then,
fuck it. I'm switking my pick.
Yeah,
too. You guys
there
are
we
right.
go. That's how we do it.
You guys are right. The 49ers are the pick.
It's good. They're gonna roll.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna go beat Rodgers next week. It's gonna feel good.
Yep. All right. You're right. So, all right, 49ers for the panel. We're all in. So that's it. We got the playoffs, at least the first round of the playoffs. So, I mean, let's just kind of bring this whole thing full circle here, boys. We might as well. And I'm going to pull up the old playoff bracket schedule. I don't know if you guys want to do the same thing so you can kind of see, like, if team wins, where they play next. But so obviously the Titans and the Packers have buys. All right. So the way I'm looking at it right now, we think the 49, let's start with the AFC actually, because we started with that. So Tony's got the Bengals winning, he's got the Bills winning, and he's got the Chiefs winning. So if those 3 teams win, then we're looking at Bengals, Titans, and Chiefs, Bills. All right. So Tony, in this scenario,
I got Bengals and Chiefs. Bengals and Chiefs. Okay.
So Tony has the Bengals. So Bengals. Win round 2. And Chiefs. You got the Chiefs.
Yeah.
2. Okay. So Dunkel, in mine and your scenarios, we would have the Raiders and the Patriots winning and the Chiefs. So we would have the Patriots play Tennessee and the Raiders play the Chiefs. In that scenario, who do you have? right?
Raiders are 5 seed. Oh, the Patriots got the 6. Wow.
Patriots got the 6.
God, how good
took
did
the
they
L.
run? They get to play the friggin' Titans.
They took the L
Ah.
because they lost to Miami. Do you think
God,
they
that
did
was
that
genius.
strategically?
Belichick, even when he loses, he runs pure.
He's a genius, dude. He did that strategically. No,
He had to have. I believe he probably did. Now that I think about it, gets the Titans instead of the Chiefs now if he wins. God.
He might have. You might be right. Actually, he might have done that on purpose.
Chess when they play checkers.
Yep. Hey. All right.
Steve Anthony, calm down about your freaking Packers and Niners. I'll slide right in there if the Niners win. The Niners pound that team every time. They own the crappy Packers.
Oh, that number will be like Packers -6.5 or Packers -7. That might be a bigger, if the 49ers win this week, that might be a bigger smash spot than this week.
It is. I can't wait. I'm going money line too. I don't need the points. Steve Anthony, I don't need your points.
Let's go. So I need your winners here. Patriots, Tennessee, and Raiders versus Kansas City. Who we got winning?
I'll go chalk in the AFC, Tennessee and Kansas City.
Okay, so you got the Titans and the Chiefs. All right.
And by the way, there is no reason at all Vrabel shouldn't win Coach of the Year. The idea that Zach Taylor could win.
God, I got that big bet on him. I hope he wins. Did it come out that somebody won or something?
No. I know that to me, how is Vrabel not like just a shoe-in? Like I don't.
He was plus 275 when I bet it last week too.
Dude had his like 3 best players hurt most of the year,
and they beat so many good teams. Dunkel, you know more about this stuff. So I bet that like last week, and it hasn't come back up yet. Like when do they put this? Does it not come back up? The odds?
Oh, they haven't even posted odds. I would assume
nothing's come back up since last week.
Yeah, that's weird. But I think that does get announced before the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, it said like beginning of February. So
I
think they'd come back out, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to see what the adjustment was. Like, can people still vote after the playoff stuff?
I don't think so. Right?
Is the voting closed?
That I'm not sure.
I don't know.
If someone knows, I'm seriously curious because I got 2 big bets on comeback player of the year and coach of the year. So I'm curious if the voting's done or what the deal is because the bets haven't come back up. So I don't know. You wouldn't think they'd let you vote after the playoffs though, because that could change everything.
Yeah,
I agree. You might not get another shot. To me, the shame of it is I know you bet Burrow as well. I'd give comeback player of the year to Dak. I'd give.
Why would you give it to Dak over Burrow though?
His numbers are just better. I'd give it to Dak personally. Doesn't mean that's what'll happen. And Vrabel,
I don't think Dak's played very good most.
And MVP, I'd give to Brady. I'd give.
You'd give it to Brady over Rodgers too. You're the contrarian in these awards.
Yeah.
I personally, we've discussed this on the show. I don't understand how he's like -700. I'm not saying he shouldn't be favored, but he should be like -160, 180. Look, it's a great story.
I think he should be like -1,000. Like he's been so much better.
It's but in terms of what? Like, yeah, sure, the advanced passing stats. When you took the numbers side by side, it's
really Brady was so good early when he had like 19 weapons. Ever since he lost a few weapons, he hasn't done anything.
And here's the thing. I think you got to look at it from all angles, right? Like Devontae Adams is 40% of Aaron Rodgers' production. Brady does not have an individual like that.
You can say that, but his second best guy is Alan Lazard, and the other dude's got Evans and Godwin and Gronk and Denny and AB. And I mean, so you can use it both ways.
He was going to be, but to me, he was going to be the unanimous MVP until some of these guys got hurt and the continuity was lacking there and numbers.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. If everyone stayed healthy and Tampa got the 1 seed, he would be the MVP for sure.
Yeah, I think that the people like the QBR and people like the lack of interception with Rodgers. I get that, but the numbers aren't that different, and Brady is better than him in some categories as well. So, needless to say,
what if they flip teams though?
What
if they flip teams?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, Brady's just a winner everywhere he goes. Dude just pisses excellence. As for Rodgers, my MVP has to be vaccinated. So. No, but seriously though, they likely give it to Rodgers. I just personally think the story's great, and the NFL hates. I mean, these sports hate giving MVPs back to back to the same person. We've already discussed this. Like there was a span where LeBron James should have won the MVP 8 straight times, and they just continued to like intermittently give it to other people.
I'm still mad about the year they gave it to Rose over him, and it was just absolutely absurd. And then he went in and just barbecued Rose in the playoffs.
Yeah, it just
terrible.
And I would love nothing more than for them to announce the MVP. Like if somehow we do get the 1-2 seed, Brady, Rodgers, and they give it to, and they announce the MVP somewhere before it, and
Brady pisses all over him.
He bags him for 4 quarters in the cold in Lambeau.
I don't
But
know
should be a fun few weeks regardless.
All right, NFC. We need NFC round 2 winners. So the way I'm looking at it right now, Tony, I think, well, actually, we might all be pretty much aligned here. So we got Arizona, Tampa Bay, and the 49ers. And I think that's for the panel. So, okay, so we've got the same scenario
I'm taking
here.
San Fran and Tampa.
San Fran and Tampa. JJ, same thing to you. Who you got?
Yeah, same thing here. San Fran, Tampa.
San Fran and Tampa. Okay. So you guys got San Fran over Green Bay and Tampa over Arizona. My goodness. I'm going with Aaron Rodgers. So I will be going Rodgers and Tampa. Unfortunately, can't ride the 49ers bandwagon.
You're just
for that
taking
long.
the 1 and 2 seed in both brackets,
Taking the chalk.
I just got a text.
My non-chalk picks were the Raiders and the Patriots in round 1. So that was my non-chalk pick.
I just
very boring.
This just in. I just got a text from AP. The Chiefs will make the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he's picking the Chiefs.
Oh God.
Oh.
All right. Jesus, the Chiefs. All right, Chiefs and Titans. JJ, you got to pick the winner here. Chiefs and Titans. Who's winning? Going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'll go with the Chiefs.
I got the Titans in a surprise going to the Super Bowl.
I talked you right into that bad pick.
Oh,
I made you feel bad for picking all the chalk. So you felt the need to roll out a little surprise. See how I did that, Dungle? And then we can laugh at him later.
I was ready. I like the Titans. Have you seen who the Titans have beat? They play up to good teams. They play down to bad teams. Vrabel is like that. I'm telling you right now, they play up to good teams. Derrick Henry's coming back. The big dog gonna eat. Come on, Tony. What do you got?
Well,
who's your AFC? So you got the Bengals and the Chiefs.
Bengals and Chiefs, man. I'd love to pick the Bengals. I just don't think that I don't think they can go into KC. I'll be rooting for them though. I'm gonna pick KC for my official pick, but I'll be rooting for you, Bengals. I'll be rooting for you.
That's the weakest thing ever.
I talked you right into that Titans pick too. I'm glad.
No, I was waiting for this, but I was ready to pick the Titans. I'm ready. I'm ready. Derrick Henry's coming back.
Ryan Tannehill isn't going to no Super Bowl.
Oh, Derrick Henry's going to the Super Bowl. Derrick Henry's going to the Super Bowl. That's how I look at it. All right. So official Super Bowl picks here, boys.
Titans going to get spanked by the Steelers, the dude in the chat says. What does that mean? Titans going to get spanked by the Steelers.
I wish the Titans could play the Steelers. So you're saying the Steelers are beating the Chiefs? Oh, baby.
The Titans.
You better put a boatload of money on the friggin' Steelers. If
Big Ben reunion here.
After the Steelers beat the Chiefs in a 40-40 shootout, they're going to head over to Tennessee and then whip their ass by 4 touchdowns. I mean, Pittsburgh hasn't scored like multiple like 3 touchdowns in a game, and like in forever. They've done it. It's because they've been down 5 touchdowns in the fourth quarter and they can pad numbers. And then there's the narrative that Ben's already retired, so there's that too.
All right,
listening as you
JJ, I lost track of it because I'm just still trying to wrap my head around this. So, where are you at now?
Uncle was making fun of you, and I liked it.
Who was Dunkel?
Yeah, I liked it too.
Why? Because he doesn't like the Titans pick.
Nope.
Who do you need me to select, JSU?
I need you to select your Super Bowl winner. So out of the 2 teams that are going to this, whoever your 2 teams
we haven't even picked the NFC yet.
What are you talking about? I thought okay, my bad. So I need you to pick your NFC winner in the championship, NFC championship.
Yeah, give me the Bucks.
Tony?
God, so I got the Niners and the Bucks. Is that right? The Niners,
Yes.
man. The Bucks are the only team that I think matches up good with the Niners, but I'm still picking the Niners because I just don't believe in the Bucks. I'm going with the Niners. I'm going with the rematch of 2 years ago when we were there and it was Rumple's Mitts or whatever the hell night it was.
God.
We're running it back, boys. If they make the Super Bowl, we should just go right back to the scene of the crime.
Was that the game we bet, Tony, or was that a different one? Was that the game we bet, or was it a different one?
What do you mean?
Which was the game where I took you and Beer's cheese?
I mean, it was probably this one because I lost $100,000 that night.
No,
that was the only time I've ever lost
on you that time. We were friends by then. This was
might have been a different one. I don't know. Whatever. It was the game the Niners dominated 3 quarters, and then Mahomes dominated the 4th quarter and beat them.
It was the Super Bowl before it. Who was the Super Bowl?
Oh yeah, that was the Rams. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the worst Super Bowl ever.
You were on the wrong side of that coin.
Yeah, that game was awful.
Yep, and I took some Big T cheese. That was the first time I ever met Big T. I took his cheese. That's how you do it. That's it. All right, so 49ers. Tony, you got the 49ers?
Yeah, I reluctantly picked the Niners over. Hopefully Tampa somehow loses because then I'll feel better about the Niners. But just because I know it's going to be the official pick, I'm going to still take the Niners and just hope.
Okay, so Tony's got 49ers, Chiefs, Super Bowl. Dunkel, who do you got in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, Bucks, Chiefs, back to back.
Okay, Super Bowl, Bucks, Chiefs. Oh, Dunkel going the chalk side. Bucks, Chiefs. Come on, man. No one makes.
I just don't think the Bucks can do it. I really don't. Like, they're so shorthanded. I agree, though. I like their matchups. If you just line up, like, say San Fran wins and they get to play Arizona, I love that. And then if they get to play San Fran, I love that. So the matchups line up nice for them. But, man, I just don't like them. I think they're going to get really – this always happens with freaking Brady, though. Like, he gets the luckiest matchups.
I agree with you. Brady just rides the good wave. How does, like, him and then Belichick and the Patriots, they just run so good.
Yeah, New England is running freaking good, too. I can't believe they get to play the Titans instead of the Chiefs. Yeah.
I don't understand it. They always seem to run good.
So we all got – oh, no, you got the Titans. So I got a rematch of 2 Super Bowls ago. Dunkel's got last year's rematch, and JSU's got Titans and who?
In Green Bay. So it's Titans, Green Bay, Dunkel's.
Didn't JSU just say to us we had the chalk? He's got the 2 fucking
No. I was trying to
he's got the 2 1 seeds.
I was trying to mock Tony because Tony just makes fun of me for picking
Get JSU the 2 1 seeds.
And then I go, oh, so Dunkel's taking the chalk, blah, blah, blah. And no one laughed at it because I was trying to mock Tony. That's all I'm
the only one with the 20-1 in my Super Bowl, too. You guys both.
All right. You also went chalk in the first round. Get out of here.
How?
You didn't take the Raiders. Put your balls on the
table.
I
picked Arizona and San Francisco. I picked 2 dogs.
You couldn't even take the Bengals to win the fucking Super Bowl. I mean, geez, such a weak spot.
I got more dogs than you, so stop.
No, stop it.
Yeah, I do. Look at the sheet. I got more dogs than you.
Why? Because you took the 49ers further in the playoffs?
And Arizona?
I took Arizona too.
So
what do you mean? How do you have more than me?
Because
we have the same.
You got the 2 1 seeds.
No, but picks, we have the same number. At the end of the day, we have the same
number
of dogs.
Because I have San Fran. All of those are dogs.
Do you have San Fran in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, and I'm going to pick them to win it, too.
Oh, my God. Okay, so you're picking San Fran to win the Super Bowl?
They're getting revenge on the Chiefs.
Oh,
AP,
God.
I'm coming for you, AP.
How'd I do that? Tony's picking the Super Bowl winner as the 49ers?
When we started the show, I wasn't even picking them to beat Dallas.
I do agree with you, Tony, though, that whoever wins that game, Dallas or 49ers, they are super live to get to the Super Bowl.
I'm saying it right now. I think whoever wins that game, I'm picking to win the Super Bowl, whether it's Dallas or San Fran.
All right.
But I'm
so
picking
you got
San Fran as my official pick. 20 to 1.
All right,
I'm gonna go bet it 20 to 1.
You also, Dunkel, do you have the Bucks Chiefs, right?
Correct.
All right. Who you got? Bucks Chiefs.
Chiefs this year.
All right. Dunkel's got the Chiefs.
That gives us all three a different winner. I mean, JSU doesn't have the balls to pick the Titans. Like he's way too
And I am
scared.
going the Super Bowl for the unvaccinated quarterback MVP, Aaron friggin' Rodgers. Get my Rodgers jersey out here. I'm an honorary Packers fan again. Let's fucking go, Packers. I'm a Packers fan. Steve Anthony, I know you're in the chat repping it. Let's go, buddy. We're riding together here. Aaron Rodgers is going to shove his fucking throat down everyone that hates him right now. I don't give a shit about
How's
what
he going
said.
to shove his throat down?
He's going to shove it right down their throats. All the fucking bullshit. That friggin' guy who won't vote for him because he's unvaccinated. Suck my balls. He's going to shove it right down his throat, too. All the other haters' throats. Who cares about his shit? He's the best quarterback in the NFL right now. He's the MVP. As much as Dunkel doesn't want to admit it, he's the best quarterback, and he's winning the Super Bowl this year. It sets up perfectly, and I love it. Let's fucking go. Packers beat the Titans to win the Super Bowl. Let's get it. Fucking go. Tony, I'm ready.
Let the record show just 10 minutes ago, JSU was like, donkeys picking the chalk. He picks the best team in the NFL with the best record with the MVP to win the Super Bowl.
You know what's interesting though? So you say that and you'll say the Titans are the number one seed, but I don't think the Titans are going to get a lot of love in this playoffs. I don't think anyways. I don't think people are going to ride the Titans. This is where I think if you play on a site like Underdog, you could get value if you actually have a take like this where you think the Titans can actually make the playoffs. And go to the Super Bowl. I don't think people have that type of strong take. I'm sure you can get value on some of those guys like AJ Brown and shit. When
you're going to get some value by losing your cheese is where you're going to get that value. You're going to have to go to the ATM and get some more out.
I also think that Mike Vrabel is actually a good coach. I don't know how they feel about him, but I think he wins big games. I think he beats good football teams, and that's
anybody that says if they win the Super Bowl they'll chop off their dick is not a good coach in my mind.
It just shows you he wants to win, Tony. Come on.
Would he actually do it, you think, though? Like, would he actually chop it off?
No way. There's zero chance. Would you? Okay, I have a question for you.
I would never say that.
No, I would never say it either. But if you made some outlandish thing like that, would you actually follow through? I don't think I could.
I mean, I just wouldn't say it because then what do you do when you actually just say, I was just joking?
All right. So, Tony, we've got a lot of interesting takes in this chat. West Coast Gem says JSU makes love to dogs, so he wins.
That was my favorite part of the Print Factory the whole year when ODB said, how am I supposed to give a take when you're making love to your dog? That was my favorite part of the whole season.
ODB just ruined it by not being here, though. Thanks, ODB.
He sent me a video during the show. He's like in Cabo right now, like on some resort, like looks just like he does, living the high life on us.
Listen, ODB, Tony goes to Florida, not as luxurious and nice as Cabo.
I'm not as rich as ODB.
Yeah, but he'll go there and he'll come on the shows. I mean, come on, that's no excuse. Get on here. Show us that you're living the life. And we know you're the man, but I mean, come on. We need some ODB winners. But yeah, Reggie's here too now. Reggie, you want to say hi to the people? You want to hang out? No, you don't? All right. He said, fuck you, Tony. He doesn't want to look at you. So yeah, that's my dog. And then we got some other people in the chat. Steve Anthony says JSU is the man. Thank you, Steve Anthony. You're the man too. We got Keystreet says JSU sharp, baby. Thank you. I try to be. And then we've got some Niners love. I see some Niners love in the chat. Some Rolo said should get vaccinated. I'm assuming he's talking about Rodgers. Yeah, but we're talking about football here, baby. Own the live season. No, Steve Anthony, we're just rooting for the best quarterback in football. Let's see. A lot of good comments in the chat. I love some of these guys. It's been great, hanging out in the chat. Some of these messages are long, but some good messages in here. All right, boys. I think that's about it for the show here. Final thoughts. JJ, I'll swing it over to you first. Give us the bets rundown. What you guys are doing on the bet side, Run Pure Bets, all the content, YouTube videos, free stuff, premium stuff. What do you got going on?
Yes, I'll have a few free videos on YouTube this weekend, but as far as what we'll have of content, yeah, I got about 4 or 5 picks up there ready for this weekend in the NFL. I'll likely have 3 to 4 more. Give you guys a few looks from each game, maybe like a favorite player prop and a favorite spread bet. So definitely expect that. And then, we got Keg's live show. You got more NBA rundowns with Spread and Tyler. And yeah, just looking forward to a fun-filled weekend of wild card football.
I love it. I love it. J10 in the chat says, watching JSU RG Academy show, and now I see the young man blasting F-bombs, screaming, yelling, dog smeller, just bark unleashed. Yes, I'm definitely unleashed. Can't stop me now. Wes, you can bring up the Browns all you want, man. I'm not hiding from it. JSU obsessed with terrible Cleveland Browns all year, so he gives the Titans LOL. All right, let's get it. Fade JSU. Fade JSU. Big T, what do we got going on at Run Pure Sports this week for all the football?
Yeah, we'll be on Saturday. We'll be on Sunday. We'll be on Monday. All 3 days I plan to do a show with whoever. I don't know the exact schedule. I think JSU, Tambo, Saturday, the normal Wood Crew Sunday, me and Chop Monday. Every day, though, we'll have the content. I want to hop on and do another Saber Sim video too with the dude that Jordan today. We did a video. We didn't have time for questions. Maybe I'll try to do it tomorrow. I don't know for sure the schedule, but we'll slide that in too sometime. Either tomorrow or Tuesday would probably be the two days we'll do that. So like always, a million things going on. Golf's going on this weekend. MMA's back. Playoffs. We're in peak Run Pure time right now. So if you're not a member, you got the bet side for the playoffs too. You got just all kinds of stuff right now. This is the best time. Sports, really. I mean, the next couple months into March Madness too is my favorite month of the year for sports. Just a great time to be a member all the way around, especially with the Saber Sim now. You can get everything on the site, bets, Saber Sim, every sport, I think for what, 150, 160 bucks.
Yes, sir. All right. Steve Anthony in the chat got the flu. Get well soon, brother. Rest up.
You and Steve Anthony are stroking each other pretty good tonight. Like,
I'm a big fan of Steve Anthony. I'm a big fan of Steve Anthony. He's a great guy. He's always watching our shows. He's watched our shows since we started.
Definitely the OG watcher.
He's an OG. Yeah. I know there's a lot of you in there, so I don't want to just poo-poo on some of the guys that are also OG. I know Richie Smalls, 23. I've seen him in the chat for a long time. A bunch of other guys, but Steve Anthony's been in it, no doubt, since like day one. In the chats, all the shows. So I got to show some love. What other
show can just crank out 2 hours too with 6 games? I mean, any other show would have gone like 35 minutes tonight, and we're at the 2-hour mark for the people.
Yep, and they wouldn't have had some great talk like JSU making out with his dog, the Viagra comment, which Richie Smalls is still trying to get over right now from myself. It's just a lot of things. JJ making fun of me for picking chalk and whatever else he was saying.
Yeah, the best comment you didn't even hear that. I like that.
I know, I missed it. I didn't see it. So see, this is why I love Steve
Anthony. The little
Anthony,
dunkel jabs are the best.
I mean, Tony, come on. How don't you love people like that?
The little jabs are my favorite. The sub tweets, the little jabs that only like 10% of the people even notice. Those are my favorite possible trolls.
I know. I know you. I know what you like and what you don't like. I know you do. Richie
the best
Smalls,
part is Dunkel just keeps trolling on mute, JSU, and you don't even notice it. His mouth just keeps moving, and he's on mute.
I had high quality content coming out of my mouth.
What's worse about this is I love Dunkel, and I love when he actually makes fun of me or makes jokes about me, because it is great for the show. But at the same time, I hate when Dunkel makes fun of me, because I really want to be on Dunkel's side. It's the worst. I want it to be me and Dunkel against Tony. And he is just
the last time. One of the best Dunkel stories too. I haven't told this in a while, but I remembered it because of the Rumplements time. So we had the bet like 500 or 1,000 or whatever at the RG game, but my team or if it was his team was going to win it, and his team didn't win it, so he's just hammered JSU, like the Rumple mitts. I'm in there peeing at the urinal. Dude comes up, peeing right next to me, trying to hand me $1,000 while we're both pissing, like just totally hammered. Like, here's your money. I'm like, are we sitting here like crossing swords and we're handing money?
I'm like, hello, Anthony Wayne. I believe I owe you $1,000.
That's exactly what happened too.
I mean, Dunkle, JJ, Uncle Dunkle, whatever you want to give. That man is a man of his word. He'll give you. He doesn't care.
I didn't make him pay for the record either, JSU, because I said that was technically the bet, but I did not get the W at the tournament, so you can keep your money. I told him.
I mean. Yes, I can confirm that's a solid guy by Big T. So, Dunkel, you didn't give him the 1,000.
He tried, though, while we were peeing. He did try. He had it out, too. Like, it was in his hand, reaching across by the sword.
I'm surprised he wasn't trying to, like, just put it in your pocket.
My pocket was down because the dong was out.
You know what's funny? That had to be the second time I offered it to you, though, because I remember offering it to you sober at the bar.
No, that was later. You were not sober that time either. That was after the bathroom part.
Oh, Jesus.
that was at the bar afterwards.
Never mind.
Never mind. West Coast Gem says when JSU skips Dunkel on giving his takes, it cracks me up every time. I mean, I don't mean to do it on purpose. I love Dunkel. I definitely will do that sometimes. It is an error.
My favorite was last week. You guys talked about a game for 40 minutes. And then
he's like, let's go to Dunkel real quick.
Yeah, and then he's like, yeah. Dunkel, you just want to give your thoughts real quick? We got to move on to the next game. Yeah.
That was the best. All three of us talked about it for like 20 minutes each.
Dunkel just sat there silent, literally, for like 40 minutes. Oh, God. So good. I mean, come on. If you don't like the Print Factory, I don't know what type of content you like.
No one's still watching it if they don't like it. Yeah. They're long gone.
That's why we love the loyal viewers that are still watching it right now. I see that number dwindling down. People are closing out, but the loyal viewers still watching right now. We love you guys, and we appreciate everyone watching this show. Don't forget, as you jump out, hit that thumbs up, hit the subscribe box. Check out all the content at Run Pure Sports, Run Pure Bets. We got everything, YouTube channels with a bunch of free content every day on both the Run Pure Bets YouTube and the Run Pure Sports side, and then tons of content coming in for this NFL slate. All right, so make sure you check that out. Also, Saberson videos. We're going to be doing more of those Saberson videos that we did today for members only. So if you're a member, make sure you check out that video they did earlier today. And then also be ready because there's going to be more videos coming out. I think we're doing a video for the NFL Showdown slate using Saber on Monday. Tony's going to jump back on at some point with Jordan again soon to take some QQs as well. So be on the lookout for all that stuff. But thanks for watching, guys. For me, JSU, Big T, and Uncle Dunkel, good luck in your NFL bets this weekend. Let's go Packers! And we'll see you guys later. Simon, cut it.